The great galactic trade hub floated in the silent darkness of space. Thousands of ships came and went every day. The hub was a meeting place for diplomats, traders, soldiers, and curious travelers from every corner of the galaxy. Its massive docking arms stretched like long fingers, holding vessels of every shape and size. Bright lights shimmered across its surface, and communication signals buzzed constantly in the air. On this day, the hub was more crowded than usual. Alien leaders and their escorts gathered in the observation ring, a wide glass circle that gave a clear view of the void beyond. They were waiting for something unusual. Rumors had spread across the galaxy about a human ship, a massive carrier said to be older than most of the current civilizations. Many believed it was nothing more than a relic, a museum piece dragged out of hiding by humans trying to show off their past. Others thought it was a desperate attempt by humans to gain respect in the council after years of being ignored. And so they came. Ships from the Dravani Empire, with their dark green hulls shaped like blades, hovered nearby. The insect-like Chirruk swarm sent their swarm craft, each one buzzing like angry hornets. The regal Sarathi, tall and feathered beings, arrived in silver cruisers that shone like polished mirrors. Even the cold-blooded Vorthak Dominion sent observers, their massive cube-shaped warships looming over the hub like silent judges. Inside the observation ring, laughter had already begun. "Is this truly what the humans bring?" a Sarathi diplomat asked, tilting his long neck as his golden feathers rippled. "A ship so ancient it should be in a scrapyard?" the Dravani commander hissed with amusement, his sharp teeth flashing. "I have seen transport barges with more elegance. Do the humans think this will impress us?" The Chirruk swarm queen clicked her mandibles, her many eyes blinking at once. "Perhaps it is a funeral ship. Yes, they bring their dead machines to show their weakness." The alien crowd chuckled, their voices mixing into a chorus of mockery. Then, out of the black void, the ship appeared. At first, it was a shadow, a massive silhouette gliding silently toward the hub. Slowly, lights flickered across its hull, revealing its shape. The supercarrier was enormous, so large it made even the cube ships of the Vorthak look small. Its armor was a strange mixture of old metal plating and newer alloys that shimmered with faint blue light. Some parts of the ship looked weathered, as if it had fought countless battles. Other sections gleamed with the smooth perfection of new. Technology-engines the size of towers glowed faintly, pushing the behemoth forward. Across its surface, countless launch bays and docking arms could be seen, though most remained sealed shut. The aliens leaned forward, their laughter softening into whispers. "It is big," one muttered. "Yes, but size is not power," another replied quickly. "Old design. Too slow. Too heavy. It cannot match our fleets." Still, their eyes did not leave the carrier. A Vorthak overseer sneered. "This proves nothing. The humans bring us a corpse and call it a warship." The ship came to a halt just beyond the observation ring. Its shadow fell across the hub, covering it in darkness for a brief moment. The hub's artificial lights flickered as its sensors strained to scan the vessel. The hub master, a nervous four-armed Yothian, tapped on his console. "Scans show strange results," he stammered. "Some systems appear inactive. Others read as unknown. The power signatures do not match any known design." "Faulty scanners," the Sarathi diplomat said with a dismissive wave of his clawed hand. "Do not trust human tricks." But a murmur passed through the crowd. Even without instruments, everyone could see the truth. This was no ordinary relic. The humans had not yet spoken. Inside a hidden chamber of the hub, away from alien eyes, a small group of human officers watched through a secure feed. Their uniforms were plain, their expressions calm, though their eyes carried quiet amusement. "Look at them," Captain Reyes muttered, folding his arms. "They think it's a toy. Commander Arya smirked. Let them laugh. It's what we wanted. Do you think they suspect? Another asked. No, Reyes said firmly. Not yet. To them it's just an ancient warship. They cannot imagine what it truly is. In the observation ring, the aliens continued their mockery. Some laughed openly, others pointed at the uneven plating, calling it ugly and patched. Together, humans do not understand refinement, the Sarathi diplomat declared proudly. They build like animals stacking rocks. The crowd erupted with amusement again, but a few did not laugh. A Chirrut scientist tapped her mandibles nervously. Something is wrong, she said quietly. The energy fields, they are not static. They are adaptive. Her queen ignored her warning. You worry too much. It is nothing. The Dravani commander squinted at his readings. Strange. The hull is resisting scans. No material should block my sensors like this. The Vorthak overseer growled. Irrelevant. Old tricks. Humans always use deception. This ship is still nothing but an old husk. The debate went on, but the humans remained silent. The supercarrier floated calmly like a sleeping giant. The aliens grew restless. Some demanded a demonstration. Others demanded the humans admit their ship was powerless. Why do they not speak? The Sarathi diplomat asked, feathers bristling. Perhaps they are ashamed, the Dravani commander said with a sneer. Or perhaps, the Chirrut queen clicked, they are waiting for us to laugh louder. And so the laughter returned. The sound echoed through the observation ring, mocking and cruel. But far away inside the human command chamber, Captain Reyes smiled. Let them laugh, he said softly. The longer they mock, the sweeter the silence will be. The humans exchanged silent nods. They knew the truth. The ancient supercarrier was no relic. It was a test, a mask hiding a weapon the galaxy had never seen. The aliens continued to mock the massive human ship, calling it an antique, a useless relic. They had no idea how wrong they were. The supercarrier, floating silently in the void beyond the trade hub, seemed calm, almost peaceful. Its immense hull reflected the lights of the station, giving it a strange beauty that some aliens noticed but quickly dismissed. Inside the ship, the humans moved quietly through corridors lined with glowing panels. The walls were reinforced with materials the aliens had never seen. Each step of a human soldier echoed faintly, a reminder of the ship's sheer size. Captain Reyes walked at the front, his gaze steady. Systems check, he ordered. Engines are ready, shields at full power, weapons online, replied Commander Arya, her fingers moving swiftly over the console. All drones are in position. Energy readings are stable. We are ready. Reyes nodded. Good. Initiate Phase 1. Outside, the aliens were growing impatient. Some were scanning the ship, trying to find weaknesses, while others whispered among themselves. It is slow, said a Vorthak officer. No modern engine could possibly be hidden here. Look at the armor, said a Dravani captain. It is old, patched together. It will fall apart if attacked. The humans, however, were not concerned with alien chatter. They had waited years for this moment. Inside the supercarrier's control room, lights dimmed slightly, and the ship began to hum. The sound was low, almost musical, vibrating through the hull. The aliens noticed it immediately. Their laughter faltered. What is that? The Sarathi diplomat asked, tilting his head. A vibration in space? That is impossible. Malfunction, said a Chirrut officer. But even as he spoke, the energy readings on his console spiked unexpectedly. The hum grew louder. Engines deep within the carrier began to glow with a soft blue light. Energy shields shimmered across the hull, invisible but active. The ship that had seemed dormant was waking. The aliens began to whisper nervously. Some moved their ships back, slightly. Others tried to send messages, but their signals seemed delayed, as if the carrier itself controlled the space around it. Inside the ship, Captain Reyes pressed a small button on his console. A section of the hull opened, revealing hundreds of sleek drone fighters. They hovered in the air, waiting, silent but deadly. Commander Arya looked at the captain. "Shall we begin the demonstration?" Reyes smiled faintly. "Yes. Let them see what they mocked." The drones accelerated, leaving the carrier in perfect formation. They moved with incredible speed, weaving between alien ships with precise coordination. Laser pulses fired from them, harmlessly at first, but they traced the alien vessel's movements perfectly. The aliens stared in shock. How are they moving so fast?" a Dravani officer stammered. "No ship can maneuver like that." The humans remained calm. The supercarrier itself began to move, engines glowing brighter as it shifted in orbit. It did not rush, but its motion was deliberate and commanding. Alien ships that had been confident seconds ago began to drift back. The Sarathi diplomat hissed, feathers bristling. "Impossible. This technology should not exist. Humans are supposed to be primitive." The carrier released a pulse of energy. It was not a weapon, but a scanning wave that swept through the nearby space. Alien sensors went haywire, showing false readings. Ships that had been in perfect formation suddenly appeared scattered across their consoles. "What trickery is this?" a Vorthak officer demanded. "No material should interfere with our sensors like that." Reyes watched from the control room. "It is not trickery," he said softly. "It is design. They laughed at us because they cannot understand." The aliens tried to retaliate. Dravani ships fired plasma beams, Sarathi vessels launched missile pods, and Chirruk swarms buzzed forward with energy spikes. The supercarrier absorbed everything. Shields adapted instantly, redirecting energy away from vulnerable points. Some attacks were neutralized entirely, leaving the aliens stunned. "Impossible!" the Sarathi diplomat shouted. "It is absorbing. All attacks! Shields are adapting," a Dravani officer said, voice trembling. "We have never seen this anywhere." The humans watched calmly, their confidence unshaken. The drones returned, circling the carrier, performing synchronized patterns that seemed almost like a dance. Each movement was precise, showing off the humans' control over their machines. The alien leaders realized something terrifying. The humans had planned this all along. They had not built a simple ship. They had built a weapon, a fortress, a demonstration of skill, patience, and ingenuity. Suddenly, the carrier emitted a beam of blue energy that did not damage but immobilized a section of alien ships. They could not move. Engines, weapons, and shields were temporarily shut down. The aliens panicked, shouting at each other and trying to regain control. "What? What is this?" a Chirruk commander screeched. "Humans!" "Humans built it," the Sarathi diplomat whispered, fear in his voice. "This cannot be. They are not advanced enough." Reyes leaned forward. "They thought we were weak. They laughed at us. Now they see the truth." He tapped a console, and the carrier's main engines glowed even brighter. The ship moved gracefully, almost floating in space as if it were alive. The aliens watched helplessly. Every movement, every adjustment showed the humans' understanding of physics, energy, and strategy. Some of the alien leaders began to murmur in fear. The laughter had completely vanished. For the first time, they felt real doubt. The humans they had mocked as primitive now commanded a vessel that dwarfed anything in the galaxy. Inside the carrier, Commander Arya spoke calmly. "Captain, sensors show some alien leaders are trying to escape." Reyes nodded. "Let them. Fear is a powerful teacher." The humans did not attack. They did not need to. Their presence alone, and the supercarrier's awakening, was enough to instill fear and respect. Aliens adjusted their formations, some moving back to avoid confrontation. Others attempted to send messages of peace, though their voices trembled. "Tell them," Reyes said softly. "Humans are patient. We do not strike first, but we never forget." A holographic projection appeared over the bridge, showing a simple, calm message to all alien ships in view. "We are not your enemies. We have lived and learned. You may have laughed at us, but the truth is clear. Respect humans, or face the consequences of underestimating them." The aliens fell silent. The words were simple, but the meaning was clear. This was not a threat shouted in anger. It was a statement of power. Some of the younger alien officers whispered among themselves. We laughed at humans," one admitted. "But what are they?" A senior Dravani officer growled. "They are dangerous, beyond anything we imagined. Do not provoke them. They are not like any species we know." The Sarathi diplomat's feathers drooped. Perhaps our mockery was a grave mistake. The carrier floated calmly, surrounded by a ring of drones, shields shimmering faintly, engines glowing softly. To the humans aboard, it was simply another day. To the aliens, it was a revelation. The supercarrier was alive with purpose, its design flawless in ways they could not comprehend. Hours passed. The aliens slowly began to withdraw, retreating from the hub. Their confidence had been shattered. They no longer saw humans as primitive, weak, or laughable. Instead, they saw a species patient, clever, and deadly when needed. Inside the carrier, Captain Reyes allowed himself a small smile. "Phase 1 complete," he said. "They have seen us awake. They have felt our presence." Commander Arya nodded. "They will think twice before mocking humans again." The carrier remained in orbit, a quiet giant against the endless darkness of space. Its true power was hidden, but the demonstration had been enough. The galaxy would remember this day, and humans had begun to earn the respect they had long been denied. For the aliens, it was a lesson in humility. For the humans, it was a reminder. Patience, planning, and intelligence could turn mockery into awe. The supercarrier had awakened, and the galaxy would never underestimate humans again. The aliens had withdrawn from the hub, but their minds were far from calm. Across the galaxy, word spread quickly. The human supercarrier, once dismissed as a relic, had awakened, revealed its power, and humiliated even the most confident fleets. Stories traveled faster than light. Humans were clever, patient, and dangerous. Every species that had laughed now feared being underestimated. Despite the shock, some alien leaders refused to accept it. Pride burned too fiercely. "This cannot be the truth," the Sarathi diplomat argued to the Vorthak Council. "Humans are supposed to be weak. How can a single ship withstand everything we threw at it?" The Dravani commander growled. "It is impossible. Perhaps it is luck or deception. We must test it further." And so, a challenge was sent, a formal invitation to the humans, delivered with pride and veiled threat. "Prove your ship is more than a relic," the message read. "Show your strength in open space, or admit your arrogance." Captain Reyes read the alien message carefully, his eyes calm and steady. "They want a test," he said. "We will give it to them." "Commander," Arya nodded. "We need to show them not just defense but strategy. They must understand humans are more than machines and shields. We are clever, patient, and precise." Reyes smiled faintly. "Prepare for the test. Move the supercarrier to the asteroid. Belt beyond the hub. Open space. No civilians. Let them see our strength without interference." The humans set course for the belt. Its jagged rocks and narrow passages made perfect terrain for a demonstration of maneuvering and tactics. Hundreds of drones moved silently, following commands with perfect precision. The supercarrier glided forward like a predator, each movement calculated and deliberate. Meanwhile, the alien fleets assembled near the belt. Hundreds of ships from all major civilizations formed a rough circle. Their captains were tense, trying to appear confident. The Sarathi diplomat's feathers bristled. "We shall see if humans can survive a true engagement," he declared. The Dravani commander hissed. "Do not underestimate them. They are dangerous, yes, but nothing can surpass our combined fleets." The Vorthak officer spoke last. "We will crush this human ship. Let it awaken fully, and we will destroy it before it can show us any tricks." None of them realized the humans were already watching, reading their formation, calculating their movements, predicting their strategy. The test began. The aliens fired first, sending streams of plasma, missile swarms, and energy spikes. Their combined attack was meant to overwhelm. They believed sheer numbers would be enough to crush the supercarrier. The humans remained calm. Shields flared, absorbing and redirecting attacks. Some beams were neutralized entirely, while others were reflected back into empty space. The aliens quickly realized that nothing they tried had any effect. "Impossible!" a Dravani officer shouted. "Our attacks, they fail. Nothing works." The supercarrier did not rush or panic. Instead, it moved with precision, shifting positions slowly yet perfectly. It seemed aware of every attack before it happened, each movement countering threats without waste. Captain Reyes watched the alien reaction with quiet satisfaction. "They do not understand," he said. "This is not brute force. This is control, patience, strategy." Commander Arya nodded. "They assume power is in numbers and firepower. They do not know how humans think." The carrier deployed drones. They did not attack recklessly. Instead, they moved like a swarm of intelligent predators. Each drone targeted weak points in alien formations, disrupting their coordination. Missiles were intercepted, beams redirected, and sensors jammed. The aliens became frantic. The Sarathi diplomat shouted orders, trying to regroup his fleet. "Focus! Concentrate fire! Destroy them!" But every attack failed. Every strike was predicted. Every move the aliens made was countered with calm efficiency. Then the humans took the next step. The supercarrier released a low-energy pulse. It was not a weapon, but it froze the engines of nearby alien ships temporarily. Ships drifted helplessly, unable to maneuver, while drones circled them safely. "What is this?" a Chirrut commander screeched. "They are controlling us!" "Yes," the Vorthak officer growled. "They are not just a ship. They are thinking, calculating." Captain Reyes addressed the bridge crew. "Keep calm. Observe. Let them panic. We fight only with precision, not anger." Commander Arya watched the monitors. "Sensors show alien ships attempting complex maneuvers. They are adapting, but too slow. Our advantage grows with every step." The humans had prepared for this. Every system, every drone, every maneuver had been tested in simulations countless times. The aliens, who relied on overwhelming force, could not match humans' adaptability and cunning. The aliens tried to coordinate a massive strike. Hundreds of ships focused fire on a single point, hoping to breach the supercarrier's hull. For a moment, it seemed like there might be damage, but the shields adapted instantly, redirecting energy to stronger points while opening temporary vents to absorb excess power. Shields adapting. "Faster than we can calculate," a Sarathi technician yelled. "Impossible," hissed a Dravani officer. "No ship should survive this assault." The humans continued their calm demonstration. Drones moved into formation around the supercarrier, forming barriers, intercepting projectiles, and scanning for weaknesses in alien coordination. Every movement was calculated, precise, and purposeful. Captain Reyes allowed a small smile. "They believed they could overwhelm us. Now they learn patience and control matter more than numbers." Commander Arya added. They thought firepower was everything. They will see strategy is stronger. The supercarrier moved smoothly through the asteroid belt. It used the rocks as cover, forcing aliens to navigate carefully. Every drone acted like an extension of the human's mind, predicting and countering alien attacks before they were even launched. Some alien captains began to panic. We cannot match them," whispered a Chirrut commander. "Yes," another admitted. "Their coordination. It is beyond anything we know. They do not fight as individuals. They fight as one." The Sarathi diplomat was furious. "This is cheating. Humans cannot be this advanced." But it was not cheating. It was design. Humans had learned over centuries that patience, observation, and clever engineering often outweighed raw strength. The supercarrier embodied all of that. The aliens tried a final desperate maneuver. They formed a massive strike formation, aiming to trap the supercarrier between several fleets. Lasers crisscrossed, missiles filled space, and energy fields crackled. The humans remained calm. Captain Reyes tapped a console. Phase 2. Initiate full countermeasure. The supercarrier emitted a pulse that disabled enemy sensors temporarily. Aliens could no longer see accurately, targeting each other by mistake. Their formation broke apart, chaos spreading quickly. Drones moved to secure weak points, guiding the carrier safely while the alien fleet scrambled. "This cannot be," the Dravani commander shouted. "Everything we know about warfare is failing!" Commander Arya turned to Reyes. "They understand now. We are not just strong. We are clever. They cannot match our thinking." Reyes nodded. "And they will remember it." After hours of demonstration, the aliens had no choice but to withdraw. Their pride had been shattered. The supercarrier had shown strength, adaptability, and strategy beyond imagination. No fleet had ever faced humans and lived to tell the story without fear. The aliens' whispers turned from mockery to awe. Some openly admitted it. Others silently plotted revenge or study, but all recognized a terrifying truth. Humans were not to be underestimated. Inside the carrier, the crew remained calm. They had not needed to fire lethal weapons. They had only shown control, precision, and adaptability. The lesson had been delivered perfectly. Captain Reyes looked at the view screen, where the retreating alien fleets appeared tiny in the vastness of space. "Phase 3, he said quietly. "We'll teach them respect." Commander Arya smiled. "They will never laugh at humans again." The supercarrier glided through the asteroid belt, quiet, majestic, and alive with purpose. It was not just a weapon. It was a statement. Humans were clever, patient, and dangerous. The galaxy had learned its first true lesson about underestimated strength. The alien fleets had retreated, shaken, and humiliated. Their pride was wounded, and their confidence shattered. Yet while most spoke of humans as dangerous, clever, and unpredictable, none fully understood why the supercarrier was so powerful. They assumed the strength lay only in its size, shields, and weapons. They were wrong. Inside the supercarrier, Captain Reyes and Commander Arya walked calmly along the main bridge. The ship's hum resonated softly through the corridors, almost like a heartbeat. Every light, every console, every system was alive, synchronized to human thought. "Phase 2 was effective," Arya said. "They saw our control, our precision, but they do not understand our philosophy yet." Reyes nodded. "They will. It is time to show them why humans build the way we do. Not for show, not for pride, but for survival and strategy." The ship moved toward the outer rim of the galaxy, to a sector of deep space seldom traveled. There, Captain Reyes summoned a secure communication channel to broadcast a message to all observing alien leaders. It was calm, formal, and confident. "We do not build to destroy recklessly. We build to endure, to adapt, to survive. This supercarrier is a reflection of our history, our intelligence, and our patience. Those who laughed believed they could measure humans by appearances. They are wrong. Observe and learn. The aliens, monitoring from their fleets, stared at the projection in disbelief. Their minds raced. How could a species so often dismissed as primitive create something that seemed to defy the laws of their understanding? Reyes gestured to the holographic map of the galaxy displayed on the bridge. This ship was designed centuries ago, he said, but it has never been idle. Every generation of humans improved it, repaired it, and enhanced it. Every modification was tested carefully, not for quick results, but for lasting effectiveness. This is why it can survive, adapt, and control the battlefield, Arya added. Other civilizations focus on power, on numbers, on flashy technology. They forget strategy. Humans think ahead. We plan decades, even centuries in advance. We learn from every mistake and victory. This ship is the embodiment of that approach. The crew nodded, understanding the quiet pride in their captain's words. Far away, the alien leaders whispered among themselves. The Vorthak officers cube-shaped. Warship drifted silently. Centuries of upgrades? Adaptive systems? How can a species we once dismissed achieve this? The Sarathi diplomat's feathers drooped. We underestimated them completely. We laughed at humans, and they have proven far beyond our imagination. Their ship is not just large or strong, it is clever, alive in ways we cannot comprehend. Dravani commander's voice was low and wary. They fought without chaos, without anger. Every movement, every strike was calculated. Their advantage is not weapons, it is thinking. None of them realized the humans were watching their reactions, anticipating every doubt, every hesitation. To make the lesson clear, Captain Reyes ordered a demonstration unlike any before. The supercarrier entered an asteroid field, dense and treacherous, with massive rocks tumbling silently through space. "Drones ready?" Reyes asked. "Ready, Captain," Arya confirmed. The drones moved first, weaving between the asteroids with grace and precision. Each drone adjusted its trajectory instantly to avoid collision, scanning for threats and weak points. The supercarrier followed, moving carefully but confidently, using the rocks as cover while remaining fully aware of the surrounding space. Alien scouts observed from a distance, their sensors trying to track the ship and its drones. But the humans' technology was beyond simple observation. The drones seemed to anticipate every move of the aliens, every potential trap. "What is this?" the Sarathi diplomat whispered. "They are not just maneuvering, they are controlling space itself," a Vorthak officer growled. "It is as if the ship thinks faster than we can calculate. Their strategy adapts instantly." The humans continued their demonstration. Using advanced energy manipulation, the supercarrier created temporary barriers in space, deflecting simulated attacks from alien fleets without firing a single shot. The aliens were forced to retreat to avoid collision or energy disruption. Every move the humans made was precise, deliberate, and defensive rather than destructive. "Observe." "The philosophy," Captain Reyes said softly. "We build to control, to adapt, and to survive. We do not waste energy or risk lives unnecessarily. Strategy outweighs brute force every time," Arya added. "This is why the supercarrier has endured for centuries. It is not just a machine, it is a symbol of human thinking. Every alien who underestimates it will learn the consequences quickly." In the alien fleets, whispers of respect began to replace fear. Some spoke in awe of the humans' patience and intelligence. "They planned for centuries," one Chirrut officer said quietly. "Every action, every upgrade is perfect. They do not fight blindly, they fight with understanding." "Perhaps we judge them too harshly," admitted a Sarathi technician. "We laughed, yet they are masters of strategy. We have much to learn." The Dravani commander shook his head. "Learning from humans? I never imagined this." Their patience and foresight are terrifying. Yet, even as some acknowledged human skill, others plotted to study and reverse engineer the technology. Pride still burned in their hearts, though. It was tempered with caution and awe. Captain Reyes and Arya continued to guide the carrier through simulations of potential alien attacks. Each scenario demonstrated humans' tactical advantage, superior coordination, adaptive shields, precise drone deployment, and clever maneuvering. The carrier could fight without chaos, protect itself, and neutralize threats efficiently. Humans do not rely solely on weapons, Reyes said to Arya. Our strength comes from understanding. Our intelligence is our greatest weapon. The aliens will remember this day, and they will respect it, even if they do not admit it openly. Arya smiled. It is a lesson they cannot ignore. Mockery has no place when they face us again. The carrier emerged from the asteroid field, still calm, still powerful. The aliens who had followed cautiously now drifted back, shaken. Their minds raced, struggling to comprehend what they had witnessed. They had expected a relic, a weak ship, a laughable display. Instead, they had seen centuries of human intelligence and strategy condensed into one vessel. The supercarrier's holographic message appeared once again, this time emphasizing diplomacy as well as power. Humans value life, thought, and planning. We build not to destroy blindly, but to endure wisely. Respect our history, our choices, and our strength. Those who underestimate us do so at their own peril. The aliens fell silent. Fear, respect, and curiosity mingled in their thoughts. The humans had not fired lethal weapons, yet the lesson had been clear. Inside the supercarrier, the crew relaxed. The demonstration was over, but the feeling of pride remained. They had shown the galaxy why humans were not to be dismissed. They had revealed the truth. The supercarrier was not just a weapon, it was a philosophy made real in metal and energy. Reyes turned to Arya. They understand now. Not fully, but enough. They see humans are clever, patient, and dangerous. Arya nodded. Next time they meet us, they will think twice before attacking. They will plan, hesitate, and respect the humans. That is the advantage we need. Reyes smiled. And the galaxy will remember. This is only the beginning. Humans have patience, and we have vision. Others may have numbers, but we have strategy. That is what makes us strong. As the supercarrier glided silently through space, the alien fleets withdrew entirely, leaving the humans to continue their patrols. Across the sectors, reports spread of the humans' ingenuity, patience, and strategic brilliance. The galaxy slowly began to shift its perception of humanity. They were no longer weak, primitive, or laughable. They were a force of intelligence, foresight, and careful planning. The supercarrier, calm and majestic, floated like a silent sentinel. Its purpose was clear. It was both a weapon and a statement. Humans built not for vanity, not for immediate dominance, but for lasting control, adaptability, and survival. The aliens had seen it. Now they would remember it forever. The alien fleets had finally withdrawn. Across the galaxy, whispers of awe and disbelief spread like wildfire. No species had ever faced the human supercarrier and lived to boast without trembling. For centuries, aliens had mocked humans, calling them primitive, weak, and irrelevant. Now, every being who had laughed at humanity reconsidered their assumptions. Inside the supercarrier, Captain Reyes and Commander Arya watched the alien fleet's retreat on the bridge's massive screens. The hum of the engines was steady, calm, and confident. They will think twice next time, Reyes said quietly. His voice carried authority, the calm assurance of someone who had seen every possibility and controlled them all. Arya nodded. They are shaken, confused, and afraid. Fear is the teacher we need, They will respect humans now. Outside the carrier, small scout drones scanned the alien ships. Many carried damaged sensors, malfunctioning systems, and scattered formations. The humans had not fired lethal weapons. They did not need to. The demonstration had been enough. A young pilot, observing the aftermath through her console, whispered to herself, "They laughed at us, and now they know. They really know." Captain Reyes smiled faintly. Every species believes they are superior until they meet humans. Then they learn the difference. Respect and fear are earned, not demanded. The carrier continued its patrol, moving silently through the vastness of space. It was a symbol of human ingenuity, patience, and strategic brilliance. Aliens would not forget this day. Some would speak of it in councils, some in private whispers, but all would remember. Meanwhile, in the Vorthak Dominion, a council convened in a massive crystal chamber. The cube-shaped ships that had fled earlier hovered outside the city. Their officers tense and silent. "Report!" the Vorthak High Officer demanded. "The humans! They are not what we believed," an officer replied. "Their supercarrier is centuries old in design, but alive with intelligence and strategy. Our attacks failed. Every move we made was anticipated and countered." The High Officer growled, his facets glinting in the light. "This cannot be. We have never faced a species that combines patience, foresight, and control with such deadly efficiency." Another officer added, "They do not rely on weapons alone. Their thinking is their weapon. Their patience is their shield. They are terrifying." In the Sarathi Empire, a young cadet whispered to his mentor, "We laughed at humans, and they crushed our pride without firing a single shot. How is that possible?" The mentor, older and wiser, shook his head. "Humans have patience, intelligence, and adaptability. They plan centuries ahead. They do not rush. They do not panic. This is strength we cannot match easily." The cadet's feathers trembled. "We will never mock humans again." Even the Dravani fleets, known for their arrogance and aggressive nature, were in quiet retreat. Officers muttered apologies, recalculated strategies, and debated how to respond. Pride had been wounded, and no one wanted to face humans unprepared again. Back aboard the supercarrier, Captain Reyes ordered a full systems check. Every weapon, shield, and engine was functioning perfectly. Despite the days-long operations, the ship remained flawless. "Status report," he requested. "All systems optimal," Commander Arya replied. "No damage, no malfunctions. The ship performed as designed. The aliens have withdrawn, and sensors show they are scattered and confused." Reyes nodded. "Good. This day proves our philosophy. Patience, intelligence, and careful planning surpass brute force every time." A junior officer spoke up. "Captain, do you think they will attack us again?" Reyes smiled faintly. "Perhaps. But next time, they will think twice. They know now that humans are not to be underestimated. We have earned respect. We have instilled fear. That is enough. For now." The humans did not celebrate loudly. Their victory was quiet, subtle, but undeniable. The supercarrier was a statement, a reminder that humans were clever, patient, and dangerous. Across the galaxy, every civilization would reconsider their assumptions about humanity. As the carrier glided silently through space, Captain Reyes reflected. "Humans are often mocked, underestimated, and ignored, but we survive, adapt, and plan. That is our strength. The galaxy will learn, slowly but surely, that underestimating humans is a mistake that cannot be repeated." Commander Arya nodded. "And they will remember. Every fleet, every council, every captain will know the cost of mocking humanity." The supercarrier's drones patrolled the perimeter, scanning for threats, mapping the surrounding space, and demonstrating their synchronized intelligence. Even the aliens who had fled could not ignore them. Word of their performance spread quickly. Scientists, military leaders, and diplomats all spoke in hushed tones about humans' precision, patience, and strategy. Some alien officers began to whisper about forming alliances, hoping to study humans instead of fighting them. Others plotted revenge, eager to reclaim their lost pride, but every one of them carried a new sense of caution. They would never approach humans with arrogance again. Meanwhile, across the neutral sectors, trade resumed. Civilian vessels cautiously resumed movement, aware of the humans' presence. Some pilots admired the supercarrier silently, recording data and sharing stories. Rumors grew into tales of the humans' strength, precision, and cleverness. Across the stars, the legend of the human supercarrier began to take hold. Captain Reyes watched these developments calmly. "The galaxy will adapt to humans," he said. "They will either respect us, study us, or fear us. That is the balance we seek. Humans survive because we understand balance, strategy, and patience." Arya added, "And because we build not just for strength, but for adaptability and intelligence. That is what makes us humans." The supercarrier moved toward the outer rim, away from the neutral trade hub and alien fleets. Its mission was not finished. Across the galaxy, humans remained few, but their technology, intelligence, and strategy had proven that they could face any challenge. In distant systems, alien fleets reevaluated. Plans were rewritten. Simulations were recalculated. Every officer, from the youngest cadet to the most senior commander, carried a newfound respect and fear for humanity. The galaxy had learned a valuable lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Their cleverness, patience, and adaptability made them formidable, even when numbers or technology seemed against them. Back aboard the supercarrier, Captain Reyes stood at the viewing deck, looking into the void of space. The stars stretched endlessly, but his gaze was focused. "We have made our mark today," he said softly. "Humans are no longer laughed at. The galaxy will remember, and the lesson will endure." Arya stood beside him. "They will fear and respect us, but more importantly, they will think before they act against humans. That is the advantage we have earned." Reyes nodded. "The supercarrier is more than a ship. It is a statement of who we are. Humans are clever, patient, and strong, not just in force, but in mind. That is our greatest weapon." As the supercarrier moved silently through space, its massive hull glowing faintly with energy, the galaxy slowly adjusted. Aliens whispered. Scientists recalculated, and fleets hesitated before acting. Humans had not conquered with weapons alone. They had conquered with patience, intelligence, and strategy. The legend of the human supercarrier grew, spreading from system to system. Some spoke of it with fear, some with awe, and some with curiosity. Every civilization that had mocked humans now knew better. They would never laugh at humanity again. Captain Reyes and Commander Arya, watching silently from the bridge, allowed themselves a rare moment of satisfaction. The humans had earned respect. They had instilled fear, and in doing so, they had changed the galaxy's perception forever. The supercarrier glided on, a silent sentinel of human ingenuity, patience, and power. It was more than a ship. It was a message, a warning, a reminder. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again.